Hi.
Liverpool, can we give it up one more time for an absolute legend?
Oh. Thank you.
I'm being super professional. I've got notes. I've done a lot of these Q&As in my time. I have never been as excited for one as this.
Oh, really? What?
Yeah, well, because not just because I'm flirting. You have done some genuinely incredible work over the last so many decades, and I do feel it's an honour for you to join us in Liverpool, not just for Sons of Anarchy. I know there's a lot of Sons of Anarchy fans, there's a lot of Futurama fans, Married with Children fans. 8 simple rules. Yeah. So we're going to take questions from the audience, and I'll just chip in every now and then.
Sounds great.
Is that okay? Have we got anyone up for questions already? Oh, they're so quiet today. Can we start with Married with Children?
Sure.
And we'll go
absolutely
back in
yes.
forward in time. So you played Peggy Bundy.
I did.
On Married with Children.
Yes.
Working with the incredible Ed O'Neill.
Yes.
And obviously all those years ago you were doing an amazing comedy series, and you both went on to do, like, he did Modern Family and you did Sons of Anarchy right into the 2010s. Did you ever think when you were working on that show your career would just keep going?
Oh, no. I did not. I started my career as a musician. So I had worked mostly on the road for most of my 20s. And when Married with Children came along, it was one of the few acting jobs that I had decided, I'll be open to doing this. And I got a call to come in. It was I thought it was hysterically funny, but I didn't think anyone else would think it was funny because it was very dark for the time. And plus it was on the Fox network, which really wasn't even a network yet. So you had to have like little rabbit ears on your television to even get the Fox network. So no, it was a huge surprise that so many people related to it.
And it ran for what? How many years was it?
11 years.
Was it 11?
11 years.
Was it 11 seasons?
11 seasons.
Wow.
Yes.
Because I watched Married with Children at a far too young age.
I'm sure you did.
I would have been maybe 6 or 7. Did anyone else have that? It was like Friday night, ITV. Mum let me stay up. I had no homework. Wasn't doing anything the next day. Love and Marriage. The theme song kicks off, and I'm like, this looks good. My little 6-year-old brain was warped.
I'm sure.
It was so raunchy for a sitcom. It was
so raunchy. Yeah, it was very raunchy. And, it was kind of, freedom of speech, and that it was just a different point of view than everything else that was on television.
Yes, it was. And obviously you were getting parodied on The Simpsons. It was a cultural phenomenon. And the cast that you worked with were all amazing. David Faustino, Christina Applegate, Amanda Bearse. Mm-hmm. Do you stay in touch with the cast? I saw that you did something with the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I did Christina's Hollywood Walk of Fame with her. And yes, I'm on a text chain with David and Ed and Christina. So the 4 of us are always chit-chatting.
There's a Bundy family WhatsApp group.
Did we do what?
Is it like
it's a little, yes, it's a chain. We have a phone chain.
I love
And then
that.
I just got off the phone with Ed a couple of days ago, and him telling his fantastic stories. I don't know if anyone's ever talked to Ed O'Neill, but he has the best stories about everything.
Was it fun making the show?
It was hysterically funny making the show. Every day, big laughs. Yeah, it was great. Absolutely great.
And obviously being a sitcom, was it a live audience or was it?
Live audience.
Okay,
yes.
That makes things better.
So I had come from music, so I was used to performing in front of live audience. So that was really fun for me.
Yeah, it was obviously one of my childhood memories that I hold dear, and I love that you guys still talk, because it was the Christina Applegate Walk of Fame pictures.
Yes.
And it was you, David, and Amanda.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it. Like that you were all still there. It's like, do you still have that like family connection? Do you think?
Yeah. Well, and we've all, Chrissy's been through a hard time, so we all rally around. When you do a television show for 11 years, I mean, you're with those people longer than you went to anyone at school with. So it does become very familial. So yes, in that particular situation, even though I was at Ed's star and they were at my star as well. So, but that particular situation has been one that's rallied us all around her.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
She needs support. favorite.
She's incredible as well. She's so funny.
Yes.
We've got a question at number 1.
So I absolutely love your work on Futurama. It's probably one of my favorite animated shows. I was just wondering, it's come back from the dead 3 times now. 2 questions that I'll try to get into one. What was your reaction when you found out it was coming back again? And as far as working on it, are there any episodes that really stood out to you, like ones that got you laughing in the recording booth or ones that made you shed a tear?
To the first question, I'm never surprised. Futurama has been now on like 5 networks, I want to say, 4 or 5. And I'm never surprised that it comes back because it is such a fan-based show. The fan base is enormously huge. So thank you to anybody who watches Futurama because, those decisions are made by bean counters at the networks. And, it's nice to see that the fans win out. So I'm never surprised when it gets picked up, but I'm always thrilled. In terms of the funniest thing about working on Futurama is when we're in the recording sessions, because between Billy West, John DiMaggio, Tress MacNeille, these are some of the funniest people I've ever been around. So not only are the episodes funny, but the banter as we're recording is hysterically funny because they're all going off in voices. They do a billion voices. Me as Leela, I'm not really a voice actor. I don't have tons of experience at it. So my voice is really just my voice. And, there's been so many episodes, it's hard to recall what would be a favorite.
It was, I think, obviously you were like the celebrity name for Futurama because the rest of them, as you said, are voice actors and they've gone on to do things in their own right. For a good while there, and certainly now, Futurama's definitely overtaken The Simpsons, hasn't it, in terms of quality? Do you still enjoy making the show, should I say?
Absolutely.
And you alluded to recording together, which is quite unusual for animation.
Sometimes we record together. It's hard, we try to do it when we can, but everybody's schedules are so different. So I'll go in by myself quite often, and it actually goes quicker because not everybody is joking in between takes, which is pretty amusing. But it's really it's been an amazing show. I think the writing is just beyond. I mean, it's so great.
It's really, really intelligently written as well.
It is very intelligent.
Even the parodies. I know you didn't list your favourite episode. I've got 2. The Slaying Factory and the one with the robot devil and the holophony. Number 2, hello.
Hi, my name's Georgia. I've got a question about the podcast that you do with Kurt. My question is, what inspired you guys to do it? And I want to say that I love it as well, the way you guys kind of just record it and things. It's amazing and compared to other podcasts.
Well, for those who don't know, Kurt and I just started a new podcast. It's called PI, which stands for People, Influences, and Experiences. Kurt and I have talked about doing it for a long time, and then we thought, well, the world hardly needs another podcast, but we decided to do it anyway, and we do it from our house, and we do it. Our big hook is we do no research. And it's really about meeting people, because both of us are pretty private people, somewhat reclusive. We're not big in the Hollywood community, but there are a lot of people that we'd like to meet. So that's sort of our reason for doing it. And then we do have a little hook at the end of each episode where the guest tells us what their favorite pie is, and we all eat pie together. And they tell us a little story about why that's their favorite pie. So I'm glad you're listening to it. Thank you. I hope everybody will.
Thank you.
Speaking of Kurt, what is it like working with your husband?
It's great working with my husband. At the beginning we had to find, when we were on Sons together, we had to find a balance so that we didn't talk about it 24/7. We also have 3 kids, so that kind of leveled things out when we got home. But my husband is a really, really good writer. So, and he's a good boss. So as long as I realized he was the boss, which sometimes was difficult, We get along great.
I love the idea of that creative partnership and having to say, hang on, no, we're having dinner here, we can't talk about this. He wrote on one of my favourite TV shows, The Shield.
Oh, yes, the best.
Incredible genre-defining piece of police fiction. And you were in The Shield?
I was in The Shield.
Was that pre or post-marriage?
That was pre-marriage, but we were dating.
Oh.
And I can't even remember the character. I played John Deal's wife. This was right after Kurt and I had started dating, actually. He was on The Shield, and I was brought on as a guest star. Maybe it was a ploy. I don't know.
The guest stars were phenomenal on that show.
Yes, they were.
Writing was amazing. Obviously, you can see where that developed into Sons of Anarchy, where he sort of holds no... it takes no prisoners, so to speak.
Takes no prisoners, Kurt.
Incredible writer. Number one, hello.
Hello. Very nice to meet you. I came to see you especially from Bulgaria, where now they are showing Married with Children, currently even. And I would like to ask you two things. The first one is, which was your favorite episode for these 11 years? And the second one, what would you like to say to your fans in Bulgaria? Because they are mountains.
Okay.
What was your favourite episode of Married with Children?
Yes.
What was your favourite episode of Married with Children?
Oh, there's so many. Well, I do love when we killed Santa Claus. Always makes me laugh. If you've ever seen it, it's where Santa Claus comes through the chimney and we're all sitting on the couch and he crashes into the living room. And if you look very, very closely to us sitting on the couch, nobody can keep a straight face. We just took take after take after take because somebody would burst out laughing. So that was a great one. I also Ed O'Neill to me was one of the funniest people ever. And so I remember there was one episode where he bought a new toilet, the Ferguson. Yeah. So that was a really funny one. Ed and I were just on the phone last week and, because it still runs and we hadn't spoken for a while. And apparently he was watching old reruns of the show and we were just reminiscing about how funny it still is. So, that's the answer to that. And what I would say to my fans in Bulgaria, thank you is what I would say to my fans and that I so appreciate it. And, I'm just kind of new to this con world. So maybe Bulgaria has a con. I'll come con with them.
How are you finding conventions? Because it's different, isn't it?
It's different. I remember doing one about 10 years ago, and I didn't do it again because it was so disorganized. And now, my experience, I started doing them again last year. I did a few, and it's just been great. It's been wonderful to meet people. They have it in a way that you can actually, it's not chaotic. So I can actually say hello to people. So that makes it nice. And it's just, it's great to see that what you've done, as a performer has provided some joy and satisfaction to people. That is a lovely byproduct of what we do. So it's nice to be adored. What can I say?
Number two, hello.
Hi, Katey. I'm Charlie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I've got one question to do with, spoiler alert if no one's seen Sons of Anarchy, but in the episode where Gemma kills Tara, do you think if she wasn't under the influence of drinking drugs that would have happened? Do you think maybe they would have perhaps had a fight but talked it through? Or do you think she would have killed her anyway?
I think she would have killed her anyway. Okay. I think, Gemma had her means of handling things. And yeah, she was a little distraught at that period of time. But, anybody that would defy or threaten her son in any way, not happening for her.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What I liked about Sons of Anarchy, and don't laugh, It feels Shakespearean. It
Yes.
feels like broad. The broader strokes. It's Hamlet, isn't it?
Yes.
It's really the mother and the uncle and the son. Was that something you actively discussed? The
Well,
Shakespearean influence.
Kurt is a thespian, a theater thespian. So he has his master's degree in theater. And so, yes, that was intentional from his point of view. Even though originally Gemma was written as a smaller role, and it was the network that said, no, let's make it that threesome, in the mother-son story, and let's follow along those lines. And so Kurt was already going that way. It was intentional, absolutely.
Because the dynamic between you and Charlie and Ron, that like triangle of power is just. What was it like working with those guys? Because are they like? Do you sort of jostle for position? Do you discuss how to make the scene better, or is it? What are those conversations like?
They were great conversations. It was a great cast. The writing, first of all, is where it all starts, and it was written very clearly what those relationships were, so that was great. This is a funny story. That when we shot the pilot, there's a scene where I slap Charlie, and he wanted me to hit him so hard. And I said, as an actor, you kind of, you imitate, you don't really do it. Charlie was like, no, I want you to hit me. So we shot that scene. I just remember hitting the shit out of Charlie. And he, for some, that was the kind of actor he was, that, he was more, I guess it's methody, but he definitely, that helped him. But, no, Charlie and Ron and I had lots of conversations. There were lots of things that we had to work with. So, yes, we had lots of conversation.
Number one.
Hi. So I know this is a bit of a smaller role that you did, but I know you most from Brooklyn Nine-Nine as Jake's mum. So I was just kind of wondering what that role was like for you, what it was like to work with Andy Samberg and the crew, really.
Well, Andy Samberg is lovely. I think I only did 1 or 2 episodes of that. So and wasn't Jimmy Smits my husband?
Yeah, but he cheated on you a lot, but you got back with it.
But I did what?
Yeah.
Jimmy Smits cheated on you?
Oh, he cheated on me,
Yeah.
yes. It was a great experience. It was so fun. As an actor, you get those calls every once in a while where you're a fan of the show and they ask you to come be on the show. So that was one of those situations. And I was just really happy to be there.
Nice, thank you.
Sure.
When I was prepping my list of questions, one of my notes I put the ultimate TV mom. And you've done so many like mom cameos and mom roles. Big Bang Theory, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, That 70s Show.
Yes.
And you dropped in on a couple of episodes on what is probably my favourite animated series of all time, Regular Show. You were Mordecai's mom.
Oh, you're right.
Like,
See, I don't even remember.
well, it was just one of those things where you're listening and you're like, no way.
There I was. Yes.
The ultimate TV mom.
I suppose so. Yes.
I mean, there's worse things to be.
Oh, no, I'm fine with it.
And
It's
you've
absolutely
done the
fine.
full range of moms.
Yes, all different kinds of moms.
I love it.
I really, yes, all different, from a murderous mom to a very sort of narcissistic mom is what I would call Peg. Even though she just really took care of herself.
There's a special place in my heart for Peggy Bundy,
Yes,
I tell you.
me too.
Number 2, hello.
Right, I have 2 questions. My first question was like, My first question is, what was it like having Charlie Hunnam play your son in Sons of Anarchy, and also, would you like Sons of Anarchy to come back?
It was great working with Charlie. Charlie is one of those very giving actors, so it was very collaborative and not a big ego. He was wonderful to work with, and he was young when we first started working together, so it was great. And I don't, everybody wants the first 9, which is a prequel to Sons that Kurt has discussed doing, and I hold out hope that eventually that will get done. It's just, I don't know when. But I can't say yes, but I can't say no.
Thank you.
Number one.
Hi, Katie. I'm Debbie. Pleased to meet you. Many thanks to you. I've never looked at a meat fork the same ever again since. So, when you and Maggie Sif was reading through the script, what was your feelings between the two of you on that? And then when you actually acted it out, how was you both feeling afterwards?
You mean with Tara?
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of a mixed bag. Maggie and I got very close on the series. We're very, very close. And so as an actor, I understood what I was doing. And it was actually, I will tell you, physically, actually fun to play with this fork into a fake head. That was actually quite satisfying. Sort of like working with power tools. If you've ever done that, that's so fun too. So the actual on the day was fine. But I do remember us both being pretty emotional on that day. Not only was it the end of her work on the show, but we were all very, very close there. So it was kind of heartbreaking, But as Gemma, she felt very justified in what she was doing, even though a little insane. I don't think that was her intention coming in to that particular situation. Her emotions got the best of her.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello, Keegan here. I would just like to ask, I'm a big, massive Futurama fan, by the way. What's your favorite episode of the show?
Futurama.
Yes.
It's very hard to say. I do love whenever Fry and Leela are having a love moment. I always think that's really sweet. I also I like the episode when we meet her parents, and she's so much fun to play. There's lots. It's really difficult for me to pick just one episode.
Yeah.
There's a great episode where Leela, and it goes back to the sewer with her parents, and all of the cast go backwards in age.
Oh, yeah.
But the name of the episode was called Teenage Mutant Leela's Hurdles.
That's right.
Which I thought was hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, have you got another question?
What's your favorite line that you recorded for Futurama?
My favorite line?
Yes.
Let's see. Somebody just asked me to sign one that they had a great quote. What was it? Gee, I love when she says, "Oh, Lord." That's what I would say.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
It's also crazy as well because obviously we're all massive fans of these shows, and you've said those lines once.
Yes, exactly, once.
You come to places like this and you get me going, "Hey, do you remember in 1989 when you said," and you're like, "No."
Nope.
We've got another question at number one.
Hello again. I would like to ask you. I have read before interview of Etoniu when he said that he found out that married with children was cancelled on the radio in his car while driving the car. So can you tell after all these years what was the reason the show to be cancelled? Because I think personally there could be more seasons.
Yeah, we were all pretty shocked by that. Usually when you're on a television show for that many years, they give you a heads up that the show will be ending. We were all in different. I think I was at the gym on an exercise bike and I saw it on the TV. And I think in hindsight, they had moved our day and time slot the season before, and the numbers must have gone down. And so, but it was never really, we probably could have gone on. I sort of felt like the joke had been told, that we were repeating ourselves quite a bit. So in hindsight, it definitely was the time to end the show. I just don't like the way they ended the show. So
11 seasons for a sitcom is...
11 years is a long time. Yeah.
Even Friends started that losing her at the end.
Right.
You got to go out on top.
That's right. You want to go out on top.
You're a musician, you know. You go out.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's
Good
right.
night. Number 2.
So, Big Bang Theory, you're playing Penny's mum. How do you think she got on with the other mums in that episode?
How did I what?
How did you think Penny's mum got on with the other mums in the wedding episode?
How did Penny's mum get on with the other mums? Is that right?
Oh, how did I get on with the other moms? I don't quite remember. I think I got on fine. I think I was fine with them. I only did that one episode as well. So, here's the thing about being an actor, which is really fun and wonderful. But, you go do the job, you work really hard to learn the lines, and then you get in your car and you don't remember what you just did. Well, especially when you're kind of like when you're going from job to job to job. So it's kind of, some of those memories, especially the shows where I've done 1 or 2 episodes, it's just a little bit vague as to how I felt about anybody.
I don't watch The Big Bang Theory, and I know, sacrilege. Am I remembering rightly that Penny was Kaylee? Who was your daughter
from
in
8 Simple Rules? Yes.
Of course, yeah. Makes loads of sense.
So
I
it
knew
was
that.
Kaylee, yeah.
Yeah, how was that?
I love being with Kaylee. I mean, Kaylee and I went through, we went through losing John Ritter on that show, and we went through it together, and we went through it as a family, basically, because we were madly in love with John, all of us. Kaylee looked up to him like a father, and was very, so it was devastating. So Kaylee and myself and Amy and Martin, we are all bonded sort of in this one experience that nobody else went through. And we too are still very close. I speak to Kaylee, so yeah.
Because I loved 8 Simple Rules, and we had a channel over here at the time called ABC1 on Freeviews. Anyone remember that? And they used to show the adverts really weirdly at the beginning and the end of the program. But that was what 8 Simple Rules was on over here, and I don't remember watching it in consecutive order. But it was one of those shows where I'd drop in and drop out.
Right.
And then obviously you had to adapt the show after what happened to John Ritter. But then David Spade and James Garner came in, and it was a totally different dynamic.
Yeah, my feeling about it, I was very proud of the network for letting us, because we couldn't figure out, should we end it, should we not end it? We didn't know what to do. So when ABC decided, let's play it out in real time, let's play it out that this family has lost the patriarch, I thought that was really, really admirable of them. But then, as in comedy, they wanted to get funny very quickly.
Yeah.
Which I sort of wish they hadn't gone quite so quickly. So they brought in David, who was fantastic, but then it became, first they brought in Jim as my dad, and then and that was lovely. And then when they brought in David, yes, quickly they wanted to get funny very quickly.
He is sort of a quick step to comedy because he is just inherently hilarious.
Yes, he's inherently hilarious.
I can imagine on the set he was never off.
He's a jokey guy.
Yes, he does seem like a jokey guy. Are you Winnie the Pooh?
Yes.
Hello, Winnie. What's your question?
First of all, I wanted to say thank you for coming to Liverpool. It's amazing to have you here. So, love Futurama. Leela and Zap are quoted very much in the household I come from. My question is, what's your opinion on their relationship dynamic? Because it's just this very pathetic, egotistical man and this woman who can just very clearly kick his ass whenever she wants. Just, what's your opinion on that relationship dynamic? I mean, relationship in quotes there.
Well, he'd like it to be a relationship.
Yeah.
And she clearly has his number. He's just a narcissistic, he likes to mansplain. He's that guy. And so, I think Zap just can't believe that she doesn't fall for him. And I think she just likes to play with him.
Yeah, because Fry and Zap seem like they're almost on the same wavelength of being man-children. But whereas Fry's very sweet and innocent, Zap is
completely
that Brannigan.
Yeah, Zap is a bit of an a-hole, as we say.
I read Zap Brannigan was described as if William Shatner was actually Captain Kirk.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the funniest thing ever. Kif, inform the men I have mated with a woman. Number 1.
Hi. So you talked about Christina Applegate, and I wondered what was your experience like having a sort of another reunion with her on Dead to Me?
Oh, that was fantastic. It was hard. The first season I was on Dead with Me, I was just with Linda Cardellini. The second season I was on is when, Christy had been diagnosed with MS already. And so I did the last episode of the season with her. And it was hard on her. And so that was hard to watch. But she, is a trooper, and she got through it. And, Christina is a wonderful actress. So it was always, even in adversity, she was a wonderful actress. So it was great to work with her.
Thank you.
It's a really good show, that as well. Number 2, hello.
Hello. Do you have any pets at home that you'd speak to in a way as Leela would do to Nibbler?
Well, I do. I have 3 dogs, and I have one little teeny dog that's this annoying, wonderful little mutt. And, I yell at him a lot because he doesn't stop barking, but I adore him at the same time. So I'm not quite sure that I would rate. And then my other 2 are big, enormous dogs. So I'm not sure that would be.
Could you say he's done a bobo?
Would I say what?
He's done a bobo, like Nibbler's done a bobo.
No.
Can you say it?
Can she say it? Katey
You,
say
you
it?
give us your best go.
Nibbler's did a bobo.
Hey! And that was a great big pile of Starship fuel. Number 1.
So basically, we grew up in my house watching Married with Children. We loved it, and we even named my dog after you. After me. We did. We called her Peggy Bundy. She didn't do nothing other than what she wanted to do. But I really want to hear you say, "Oh, ow!" Please.
Oh, ow!
Please. Thank you.
It's crazy because obviously you're sat at your table doing autographs. Can you guess the fandom of the person approaching you for what they look like? If someone turns up in a leather cut, you're like, Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Someone's got a big beehive, Married with Children.
Yes, absolutely. Well, a lot of people are wearing their son's stuff, their T-shirts and their cuts, and yeah, I can usually tell. And then I'll get some purple-haired people that are Leela fans, and I was a couple of these cons. I've had Peg Bundy walk up to me. People dressed as Peg.
She's a style icon.
She is a style icon.
That should come back. I feel like it is making a comeback in some way.
She could. She's very 80s. Isn't that the hip thing now? Leopard is very in, right? Yep.
Leopard print and
There you
big
go.
hair. Number 2.
Hiya, Katey. Sons of Anarchy is probably my favourite show in the whole entire world, and Gemma is my favourite character. Out of all the shows you've done, which is your favourite?
Well, it's hard to say because they're so different. I mean, the most iconic ones I've done really are, well, there's Leela, but there's also Peg and Gemma. I would say, because the genres are so different. Gemma was really great for me because I had been doing comedy for so long. It was hard for people to allow me to have that kind of role. So, kudos to my husband who wrote that part for me and was able to, understand that I was also a dramatic actor. So as far as a drama role, I mean, she was the best. She was amazing. But then for a comedy, it's really hard to say. They were so different. But because I loved playing Peg also. So I don't know if that answers your question. But
yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I chose 2.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks.
It's really difficult because obviously some people go their whole career and not have one iconic character, and you've got like 7.
Yeah, I have quite a few. Yeah. It's great.
It's good, isn't it?
It's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
It gives me loads to talk about. We've got 5 minutes left. I'm going to say we've probably got time for 2 questions, so we're going to do number 1 and then number 2, and then we'll see where we are.
Hello. I was really struggling to think of a question, to be honest. But I was wondering, as a performer, what was one of your roles that you perhaps wish hadn't have done, and what is one of your proudest moments as an actor?
A role I hadn't have done, I wished I hadn't done. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Let's see, that I hadn't done. I've enjoyed most of them. I made some really awful TV movies in the 80s where I was, one movie in particular, I remember I was playing a cancer victim who I hooked my husband up with the nurse that was taking care of me. Oh, I'll tell you the one I did a show called Boston Legal. Do you know that show? All right, so I did this show called Boston Legal, and I had a recurring role for the entire season. And the very last episode, it's this big murder thing and who done it, who did it. I have a scene where I make out with my son. It was gnarly. And I was like, I couldn't even watch it back. I was just so shocked and appalled. And it wasn't that as an actor, it's always nice to be challenged, but that was a challenge I could have done without.
Number 2, hello.
Hello, my name's Hannah, and thanks for coming to Liverpool, Katey. I loved you in loads of shows, particularly 8 Simple Rules, because I grew up on that. But I also really liked your character in Lost, and I was wondering, what was it like working with so closely with Terry O'Quinn?
I love Terry O'Quinn. The interesting part of that job was that this was right when I was coming out of doing a lot of comedy, and that this came across us, and I had to go in and audition for this role. I think they brought me in 2 or 3 times because they were so, when you're on television as one particular character, they're so paranoid that you can't do anything else. It becomes like, so I think they wanted to make sure Peg Bundy wasn't going to be on Lost. And I was able to get that role. And then Terry was fantastic. I loved playing with Terry O'Quinn. He's not only hot, super handsome, which is always fun, but also a great actor, really great.
Thanks.
Final.
Yes, Bulgaria. Last question.
Bulgaria has lots of questions.
Absolutely. So the final one. Imagine they invite you at Christina and David for one final episode of the Bundys in 2024. How do you manage Peck? How Kelly and But can you describe how would you imagine them in 2024?
It's interesting. They are in the middle of pitching an animated version of Married with Children. So I don't know if it would pick up where they left off. If it was in 2024, I don't know. I think they'd win the lottery or something. And then they'd spend it. And then they'd ruin it.
Yes.
Somehow they would lose all the money.
Because that's the fun, isn't it?
Because that's the fun. That's the Bundys.
Yes, it is, yeah. I think that's probably it. I think they've all ran away from asking questions. We've got 1 minute and 37 seconds. What do you want to talk about?
Do I want to talk about something?
Want to talk about something, yeah.
What do I want to talk about?
How are you finding Liverpool? You enjoyed it?
I'm sorry, say again?
How are you finding Liverpool?
Well, I haven't really seen much except out my window and the drive-in, but it's charming. I love the UK. I will say that. I shot a show in Wales. I don't know, 5-6 years ago we did a show, and Kurt and I got a flat in London. It was so wonderful. And then we'd kind of drive back and forth. I loved Wales too, but I really liked staying near Regent's Park. That was so lovely. Yeah. So I love being in this part of the world. And I'm sure I will love Liverpool if I get out of my hotel room.
And I'm sure that we are all super grateful and we super love having you here in Liverpool.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.